can our boys get the job done and go 1-1, upset the Eagles on Monday night? And I did watch the 22, and I came out feeling not as bad, which I don't know how to feel about it, but I'll explain when we get into it. Let's go.
Not as bad is better than bad. Let's go.
And welcome in, folks. It's episode 181 of Out of Your Falcon Mind, Atlanta Falcons Fancast. My name is John, your host, joined always by my co-host, Mr. Mike Cottrell. Buddy, how you feeling on this Wednesday, new time slot, 7 p.m.?
Dog, I had to throw my shades on to block the haters, Johnny Yates. The haters were so bright today, I swerved in the oncoming traffic several times. It was coming from my own fan base and Pittsburgh. I wasn't digging it.
Well, that's dangerous. That's dangerous in Atlanta, buddy. I'm glad you made it home.
Yes, okay. It is, sir.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Well, welcome in, everybody. If y'all are new to the podcast or new to the show, well, glad you're here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for us. The more likes we get, the better chance we have of getting out to more Falcons fans, which is the whole goal, to get more eyes on the channel. And if you're listening to us, drop us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And I will check the iTunes soon. If we got any 5-star reviews that you've written some words, man, I will definitely shout you out on the show. It's the same thing for email. You could email us at atlfalconfancast@gmail.com. Anything Falcons related or not, as long as it's not insanely inappropriate, I will read it online or on the
and I've never checked iTunes or Spotify, so shout out to Johnny Yates because I've never logged in once.
I can't say it then not follow through. I can't be, you know what I mean? So but anyway, anyway, I said the email, and if you guys are interested in any merch, we do have that. As you can see here, we have got the Out of Your Falcon Mind store on Bonfire. We just have some new tie-dye stuff that we just put out, which is pretty cool. Mike's got one. I think you got what you got.
Got one on the way. Yeah, I got that one right there on the way. I'm gonna throw the bandana on with it with the shade. Oh man,
I love it. I love it. So if you want to support the show that way, much appreciated. There's other stuff there too. There's coffee mugs, Rise Up for Alzheimer's, which is one of the things that we do support, basically research on Alzheimer's disease and trying to find a cure for that, and just all the other stuff we have on the site here. We'll probably add a few more as the season goes along, but that's one way to support the channel if you'd like to. Much appreciated. So, and also, we did actually, I think this week, I want to say 4 or 5 of the tie-dye shirts already was like sold like a few days ago. So I can't wait to see folks. Yeah, man, I can't wait to see folks with those. I got to get one myself. I keep
man, as soon as John sent me the link, I said, I see tie-dye. I clicked. No matter which one it was. I see tie-dye, I'm going.
I hear you. All right, man. Well, we do have a special guest, so I don't want to waste time, man. One of our favorite people to add. One of our favorite people to add, we've had on the show, and we'll continue to have on the show, Mr. Dave Choate, the Falcoholic.
So the GOAT from the Falcoholic, you know who it is. He done been on our show 11 times. We glad to have you, Dave. And I think Dave is frozen. To come out the gate frozen. Man, that's how cold he is. He come out the gate frozen. Who but Dave?
This is not good. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. But
okay. Well,
which
at
is
least
okay.
My face isn't frozen in a bad expression, I hope.
Yeah, that's normally what happens to Mike. Mike is caught in some kind of weird expression.
It's been good lately.
I know, it's weird. It hasn't happened. There we go. Yeah, but you haven't even since you moved, you know what? Since you moved, it's like it hadn't happened.
It's been good, right?
Yeah. That's So, but anyway, man, Dave, we appreciate you being on the show, buddy.
Good to be here.
It's been a while, dude. I think it's been since maybe or just before the draft or something like that. I mean,
I think so. I don't think I was on for the post Penix talk. So.
No, a whole lot of things have happened since then, clearly. So before we get into it, man, let's say what's up to the chat. Brian Little, what's going on, man? Good
Brian
to see you.
Little, what up?
Chris,
A1, my man, Chris.
A1 Forever Sports,
man. Chris was so close up on the game. He was doing his
thing. He was, man. Make sure I think he'll be on. They'll be on with Berto at 8:00 right after us, I think. Drew, what's going on, man? Can it get worse on Sunday? I don't think so.
No, it can't. That's the good thing, Drew.
I don't think so. That's what we're going to hope for, man. What's up, man?
Michael Ward. That's Hall of Fame. What's good, buddy?
Right. Marlon,
what up? What's up, gentlemen?
Man, we're great, buddy. We are great, buddy. We were great.
Dave, we got yes, sir.
All right, man. So, Dave, first thing we'll get into, man, is I guess the reactions, overreactions, just basically all the things that came out of week one, because that's obviously not what any of us expected to see. So what was your, I guess, just initial reaction after the game, and now after you've had some, a couple of days to maybe watch the 22? I don't know if you have watched it yet or not, but if you had a chance to kind of digest what you saw, like what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I rewatched the first half, which was the more pleasant half, right?
Yeah,
to watch.
for sure.
But I was just mad on Sunday. I'm not as mad now, just because a couple days have passed. But it's the same kind of feeling, which is like we expected a certain level of play, and I think we got it from the defense. We certainly got it from special teams. Special teams look great, but the offense, like it being kind of that predictable, that out of sync, and to have all the questions that were raised by the way they chose to run the offense and how Kirk Cousins looked, like not a good feeling. The fact that they lost to the Steelers, the team they always lose to, that Arthur Smith and a bunch of former Falcons were on that team. Like it was a tough pill to swallow to start the season. And, it makes you think back to the beginning of the Arthur Smith era, which, the Raheem Morris era is going to be different. I very much believe that. But, we had that demoralizing loss to the Eagles to start things off. And it's like, what is it with these teams in Pennsylvania, man? Like, why do they have to lose like this to those teams, right?
Yeah, I think we're 2-16 all time against Pittsburgh or something like that. Something stupid. Like it's ridiculous.
They've won 16 out of the last 19 games they played.
That's insane. I
think they tied once, which is terrible too. But
yeah, who cares? Yeah, I mean that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, like
it's really insane, yeah.
But so I mean, a lot of stuff obviously was like a lot of stories was revolving around Kirk's health, right? And we talked about it a little bit because we came on. If y'all watched the recap show, we came on right after the game, so we were emotional. We were, trying to figure out what the hell we just saw, because we were expecting to see, like you said, like a level of competence that we hadn't seen in a while from an offense and from the quarterback position, and just everything, that we wanted to see offensively. We just didn't see it all, and it was just kind of mind boggling, because we all knew that we didn't know what we had in Zach Robinson. We all kind of thought what we would, we still don't know, because it was his first game he's ever called. So I'm not going to I'm going to reserve judgment yet. You know what I'm saying? But we all thought we'd see better than what we saw on Sunday, so we were pretty, kind of emotional about it. But since then, like Kirk's health's been like the topic of pretty much everything on national media. I mean, even like Mina Kimes today on her podcast, and her and Dominic Foxworth were talking about, like, maybe Kirk got in here, early in the year, and, they were like, oh, maybe he's not ready, or maybe this isn't going to be what we thought. And, then that encourages the Michael Penix draft pick. And then, we can't not start him because we've already sunk this money into him. So now we're going to kind of ease him along. And, like, I don't know. Like, I love conspiracy theories. Like, I'm better than, like, I love it. Like, I'm cynical. I love all those things I'm down with. But to see he was like practicing in February under center, taking snaps. I know it's different in practice, whatever. I get that, but he's doing the motion. And then, we heard from every reporter that was at one of the practices before the season started, he was sprinting, chasing down, I think maybe Mike Hughes or somebody. He threw an interception. He sprinted 50 yards down the field. You don't sprint if you're worried about your Achilles tearing again. So, like, to me, he's probably feeling okay, and, like, I don't know, like that's, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I buy the health thing, which brings the question is, okay, well, if he is healthy, then why the hell do we call the game the way we called it? So it's either maybe a little bit of both, maybe Zach's, I don't know, like, and Dave, we were talking before the show, and, go ahead, just say what you thought, what you said about, possibility with his injury and, whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's, the brain's a little bit of like a prediction engine, right? Like, it's trying to predict what's going to happen next. And it might just be that in a game situation, Kirk Cousins is used to doing X, Y, Z. He's done it his whole career, and he goes to do X, with a guy bearing down on him, split second decision, and it doesn't feel right. And so he's not getting that plant that he wants. He's not moving the way he wants to. And that might just take some time to sync things back up. That's assuming that he's fully healthy, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that whether, he said something about that to the team, whether the team knows that, he's still in that phase of recovery, or he's a little bit hurt, or Zach Robinson just saw him moving, in the first quarter and was like, oh shit, I got to call this game differently. we don't know. Maybe I know both of them, I think, have press conferences tomorrow. So maybe they address it. Maybe they clear some of this up. I kind of doubt it. So we're going to have to just guess as to why that is. But like, to me, it's a big circle, right? You don't call the game that way if Kirk Cousins is totally comfortable. But also the game plan was never going to be one that Kirk Cousins is totally comfortable in, because he's not really, he had 1 year, I think, where he really played heavily out of the shotgun. It doesn't normally happen. Never played that much in the pistol in a single game. So you look at it, there's a lot of ingredients besides TJ Watt for him having kind of an uncomfortable afternoon. But if you take the team at their word and he is totally healthy, all the things that we saw throughout the summer and the spring indicate that, then I really think it's just like is it going to take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months for him to kind of sync things back up and feel comfortable making those split-second decisions that he needs to make, and putting the weight on the Achilles, feeling good about taking off and running, which is that was never going to be great anyways, but it seems less likely to be great now. So
Dave, I got a question for you. Assuming Kirk Cousins was totally healthy, who's more fault do you put it on, Kirk Cousins or Zach Robinson, that week one was a shamble like that?
If Kirk Cousins is totally healthy, so like let's throw out some of the movement and
any
stuff.
injury talk, he is gone. He's totally healthy. Who more blew that on Sunday?
Yeah, so if he is totally healthy, it's definitely more on Zach Robinson, right? Because that was a game plan in my mind that was designed to protect him from having to do certain movements, to be able to turn his back for play action, to walk and run and do all the things that he needed to do. And clearly Robinson was like, we're not doing that. So first of all, that's an issue if he's totally healthy. And then the second piece of that is the predictability of when they ran and passed it, the fact that there was absolutely no play action, not even to try to catch Pittsburgh off guard. Like, you can't have a game plan that's that easy to figure out. And TJ Watt said something, I think, today about, seeing the markers, knowing what was coming. Like that's bad. So assuming again that Kirk Cousins is totally healthy, he's totally comfortable. And I think, again, that's a little bit up in the air. You got to put more of that on Robinson. I think you can put more of it on him anyways, because you have to come up with a better game plan, even with a limited quarterback, than that. You got to have a little bit of ambiguity so they can't just tee off on you.
Yeah, I mean, TJ he didn't even attempt to slow up on any of those. Like, he was coming off the ball, like he knew exactly what was, like he didn't even try to.
His stats were severely underserving of what he actually did. I saw his stats at the end of the game, and I was like, I would have thought he had 27 sacks, 42 hurries. Like, it didn't look, but his effectiveness was way beyond those stats.
Yeah, he wrecked it. Yeah. He wrecked it for sure. And I agree with what Dave said. And I think part of it too is, Zach's used to working with Matt Stafford, and like Matt Stafford, can move. He's got, obviously his arm is one of the best arms we've ever seen. He can make throws from different angles and stuff like that. Kirk and Zach is not Matt Stafford by any stretch of the imagination. Not in the movement wise, not in arm strength wise. So, maybe, that was part of it too. It's like, oh shit, maybe that was kind of a realization for him. It's like, okay, I'm not working with Matt anymore. Like this is maybe this is not going to be the best game plan for Kirk going forward. And it's true. Maybe he didn't want him turning his back to that side that TJ Watt's coming screaming off of, especially if you're not going to chip him or, using Kyle Pitts to maybe do, I don't know. We'll get into that in a second. But that's all possibilities, man. Let's get back in the chat real quick. Say, Christy, what's going on?
Christy, what up? Rise up. Liam, what up? Rise up, Liam. Marlon said, I don't want to lose to a team that does the Pee Wee League play all the time. Yeah. I don't want to lose.
Hey,
lose
but you know what, though?
Arthur Smith.
But on that note, Arthur Smith out-coached Zach Robinson. He knew exactly. Look,
he will wait till he goes somewhere else to start out-coaching people.
Well, even this, like, he knew the offensive line that he had was young and like probably not the best, right? So he was trying to get the ball out fast. He was, you saw if you saw Justin Fields' spray chart, it was literally to the hash on both sides. Like, there was nothing on the middle of the field, nothing, zero, nothing. And they were all basically, except for a few of the deep shots he took to Pickens, like they were all relatively short. You know, there was quick and there was, quick. I mean, he was trying to do whatever he could to protect that offensive line, and it worked. I mean, they'd score a damn touchdown, but it worked, unfortunately for us. But yeah. D Sloan, what's up, man?
D said, "What up, fellas? Kirk is going to be okay. I believe you." He said, "I believe he shook off that rust in week 1, but he's going to have that tunnel vision going into Philly. Let's go Falcons." Now you talking my language, D. You the first one all day I heard say something positive. I love you. Liam said, "We're going to have fun against Philly." Yes, we are, sir. Joe, my man Joe said, "Time to turn the page and get Philadelphia." Yeah, get Phillies on to Philadelphia. Bill Belichick voice. Millie Mills, out of your Falcon mind, what's up? I'm worried about AJ this week because I think AJ finna bully AJ. Maybe not deep, but definitely intermediate. He gonna have his hands full.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he will. He will have his hands full. We just talked about it on
the London on him. It'd be hilarious.
Right.
It'd be more of a better.
Yeah, exactly. So so getting into all right. So I told you I'm gonna try to do the 22 review, right? So I'm still going to try to do that. Here's the funny thing. So I started
Johnny Yates with the vague language. We don't know if he's doing it or the vague language is the throw.
No, look, man. So the way the NFL Plus did it last year was like, you could just go to the 22 film. It would show you the sideline view followed directly by the end zone view, right? And it was just the whole game. You could just scroll across, no problem. So this year I log in, to look at it, and it's like, it's not that way. You either have to pick either sideline or you pick the end zone view, and it's not one full video. It's like individual clips. Like each play is its own clip. So I was like, son of a bitch, this is going to take forever. So like I said, I went through yesterday and I watched it. Like this was my method last year. So I go through, I watch it. I make my notes. Okay, I'm going to do this play, because I try to pick, 15, 20-ish plays that I would do on the video, right? Go through and I write down, okay, this is where it's at, blah, blah, blah. Do all that. And I recorded I think I picked 20 plays. I recorded about 15 of them last night. And then it just happened that me and JR from Pound for Pound, shot for Pound for Pound, we were talking this morning, and he was like, "Hey, have you seen the new Pro NFL thing?" I'm like, "No, what the hell is that?" So he's like, "Yeah, so you just use your NFL Plus login and you go there, and it's basically made for guys that want to do like the film review. You can go in there and you can just filter and pick you can pick a player, you can pick certain down and distance, you can pick all this stuff." I'm like, "No shit." All right. So I go there when I get home, and dude, like, yeah, it's literally like, it's still clips, but you can scroll through. I can just click on the play I want to go to. And,
that's awesome.
And
that's
go right there. So I was both very happy and pissed off at the same time, because I spent like 2.5 hours yesterday doing this dumb shit.
You got to do it, buddy. We needed that all 22 from you.
I started to feel like, I kind of felt like my dad, like when I was teaching my dad how to use email back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Dad, this is how you got to log in. This is how you're going to, like, I'm starting to get that way, I think, of certain things. And I don't like it very much. Like, whether it's JR telling me stuff like that and helping me out with things, or my kid telling me, like, I think I don't know, man. But either way, I'm happy that that's there now. So if I have time tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to try to get these plays out. But either way, I want to talk about it, man.
Let's do it.
Hey, appreciate that, dude. Come on, man.
Liam said, "Yes, you are."
So look, looking at the all 22, like I teased at the beginning of the show, I said I didn't feel as bad coming out, because the bones of the offense outside of, I am a little concerned that we didn't run any play action whatsoever. I mean, we'll find out this week if that was just an anomaly or if that was him trying to protect Kirk, or who knows what it is. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. And we'll see if like Dave said, if he addresses it tomorrow at the press conference, we'll see. But some of the passing concepts were kind of repetitive, but they were, I think, better than what Arthur had. I mean, it was honestly kind of hard to be worse than what we were dealing with there. So there was good positives there. The few interceptions that, look, it could have been more. Like, we were lucky that wasn't a pick six to begin with. That was just a bad decision. I mean, y'all see, I mean, he had Kyle early on that on an out. Really, like, if he'd have saw him, but I don't know what made him go to Darnell on that play. But either way, he placed the ball badly. But it was just, those were just bad decisions. Just no way else to say it. I went back and looked at some of his film from last year just to compare, and there was a lot of throws he made last year where he's not driving off his back foot either. So I don't know if that's just an anomaly, or that's just the way he throws. I mean, who knows? Like, it's just hard to say. Like, a lot of people were obviously pointing that out as well. It's like, hey, look, he's not driving off his back leg. you can even look at throws in camp. He's not driving off his back legging, putting it on guys like down the field. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just the way it just happened to be that way or not. Yeah, Pitts. I don't know why Arthur Smith and maybe even why are y'all trying to make him a blocker? Like if he's not going to be a blocker. He's never going to be a blocker. Like, I mean, I don't know why they keep like you brought in 89, you brought in Charlie Warner to be that guy. Like if you're using Pitts to block, you're taking him out of the game plan that he should be in to stretch, go vertical, whatever you want to do. Like use his athleticism against the linebacker, safety, whatever. I don't know, Dave. What you calling that, man?
Yeah, I think if you're worried about predictability to some extent too, like it's just not there. Like we just have to accept. Like I don't know if you agree with this after rewatching. I feel like Bijan is noticeably better this year in pass protection than he was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So like you see somebody who that was a little bit of a liability for them, who's gotten better at it. And I wanted to say who's put in the work to get better at it. I don't know if Kyle Pitts is putting in the work or not. I don't want to disparage the work ethic. I'm not interested in that. But the results are not inspiring. Like in a game situation, too often.
I love the way you did that, Dave. Oh, that was smooth.
Thank you. But it's just like, he's getting like one hand on a guy. He's just kind of like you or I would like push away somebody who's like coming up and breathing in our face in the grocery store or something. But like it's not like a real block half the time. And as talented as he is, like it just feels like I don't want to be in a situation again where we're using Kyle Pitts in a way that doesn't maximize what Kyle Pitts offers you, right? Like you said, he's a big, tall, athletic threat with some versatility. You can certainly use him in the red zone. That worked on Sunday, but like have him block as little as possible would be the end goal there. And so hopefully that's not something we're going to see a ton of. But it's also a little bit tricky because I don't know that Ross Dwelly's a great blocker either. So it's like it's Warner or bust, and you don't have a fullback on the roster. So there's a little bit of a construction issue there potentially. I'll be interested to see how that goes.
I want to say this, I agree with Dave. Like, I think Zach should scheme Kyle to block as little as humanly possible. But Kyle also, like on the few plays where he got to block, Kyle got to block like a tight end. I understand he's predominantly a receiver and special like unicorn, but for a tight end to be able to block on that skill set he was showing, like Dave said, I could probably do that, and that's sad because I shouldn't be on the field. That's not a compliment. I belong nowhere on the field except the first down marker guy, right? So if Kyle got to throw blocks, and I know it's a new league, but I really do miss those days where the tight end would like Jay Novacek. And it was big dudes, was big for a reason. He could catch and knock you out. Kyle Pitts didn't even look like a basketball player playing football when he had to block. I didn't like.
They just got to get him the neck roll, and he'll just remember.
Yeah, dog, do something that a big man would do. Like you not. It's like he playing like Chris Carter from the Vikings, but you're a tight end. Like that's like you being sweet and sexy instead of lay somebody out once in a while, just once in a while.
Yeah, that would be nice to see for sure. And I mean, overall, the run game, like you said, Dave, I think Bijan's definitely upped his game a little bit in the pass blocking. And the run game was okay. It was a lot of outside zone again, and I think even Aaron mentioned it on Locked On. He's like, the few times they ran split zone with Tyler, it was really effective. Like, I mean, maybe put that in there a little bit more, whether it's with Tyler or Bijan, like maybe just change that up. And it was. He changed it up more in the second half, which was good to see. Like, I just want to see that kind of continue on. And I think a lot of this could have been, Zach just getting used to calling a game, like this hopefully was kind of like his just introduction to the NFL. And he got that's a tough defense to go against for your first time playing. It's a tough front. They showed it all game, but like, again, I don't know how much Kirk affected it or not. I don't know. Like I said, we'll find out. Defensively, man, overall pretty well. I mean, it was, a few blown coverages. We really got lucky. The throw that Justin threw behind Najee Harris. I mean, somebody definitely missed an assignment. The dude, he would have ran for 50 yards. Yep. Like there was nobody on that side of the field. That was rough. The ghost OPI that they called on Pickens. He did. I mean, that wasn't an OPI, but whatever. We
Shout
got
out to the ref.
It sure was.
we got the benefit of the doubt
Shout
on
out to
that
the
one.
ref.
You know, but you know, the linebackers, I mean, look, Nate Landman being used a lot in the base, nickel, which we kind of assumed this. We kind of figured that, you know, Troy Anderson's going to be used a lot during passing plays in the nickel, which he was, and he's more athletic. He's quicker. It just makes sense. Sometimes they're on the field together. That was good. I thought they were both, as far as PFF goes, they were both, I think, in the top 10 as far as linebackers go for this week. So that's pretty solid too. You know, the biggest thing, I guess, that I would like to see from the defense, I would, and I don't know if it's even going to be in there because I don't know if this is part of their idea, their plan for him, but I would love to see Ellis coming off the edge, man. I mean, like, that's where he's been really good throughout his career. We've talked about it on the show before, but I'll just give him a shot. Maybe put Judon on one side and put Ellis on the other side, or have him coming from a different spot, you know. And I think we only blitzed maybe 4 or 5 times during the game. It really wasn't a heavy blitz during the game. And then finally, we'll just close it with the offensive line. Look, Caleb wasn't good. Jake, there was, I think, he gave up 4 pressures. I think Jake gave up 4 pressures. There was a few on the end, like Dahlman got beat, Bergeron got beat. Lindstrom, I think, was probably the best of obviously the linemen. But man, like, yeah, I mean, of course, we went out. If y'all probably heard, we went out and signed a tackle. It's not like it was not to replace anybody. It's just a depth piece for Jake. But what was his name, Dave, from the Raiders?
Brandon Parker.
Yeah. So he'll be there just hopefully for depth and if we need any help. But man, like that was a rough, you know, for pass protection wise, we got to get better. If Kirk can't move, he's going to sit in the pocket. Those guys have got to make an improvement and make it fast. Because we're going to get into Philly in a second because it's not going to get any easier these next few weeks with these guys we've got coming up. So, but that was kind of like I said, if I can put together the video the next few days, then I will get it out there and I'll show these plays I'm talking about and kind of show y'all kind of what I'm seeing. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that, man. Y'all got anything to add before we go on?
Yeah, I do have a question for Dave. Dave, why do you think he wasn't under center more?
I think, you know, whether it's he's not totally healthy or he's just not comfortable, like I really think there was an intention to ease him into the game by not asking him to do that, not having to turn around or to do his traditional drop steps and take the time to do that. So I think they backed him up with that in mind, keeping things in front of him, making things a little bit easier. And then whether that was intended to be like the early part of the game and then they just saw how he was moving and they realized they couldn't do it, or whether that was the plan for the whole game because they know he can't do it. That's up for debate, but that's where I come at it from.
Do y'all think it's a possibility that Kirk is fine, but that they have planned all along, man, week 1, we're going to have you severely limited in your movements just so you get confidence and you don't try to do too much. So week 1, you will be restricted. Do y'all think that's so he game planned for that, for restriction, so it looked restricted?
I think it's possible. I think it's actually very possible. I think the only thing that makes me think that might not be 100% the case is when they really needed to win the game, you would have expected them to, you know, change things up and go to his traditional strengths, right? And I didn't see that. So
bring the wheels up and take off, baby. He couldn't get them wheels up.
I mean, 100%. I think they came into it knowing that at least for part of the game, that's what they wanted to do. And again, we can debate the reason for that, but they clearly were planning to limit what he was doing up to a certain extent. And then they just, for one reason or another, decided they couldn't stop doing it. And like, as we got super deep into the game and nothing was working, that's when like a totally, you know, like 100% like ready to go Kirk Cousins would probably have been in a different position than he was. So like that's what gives me pause at the end of the day. Like it just felt like they knew they couldn't do something else. So
yeah, I agree. And after the first drive, I mean, Pittsburgh kind of figured out what we were doing. And it was and the problem was that Zach never changed anything, you know, and I going to attribute again that to his first time. But I don't want to do this again this year, where last year we were like, come on, Art, you're going to change something, right? Yeah, you're going to change something, right? And then nothing ever changed. You know what I mean? I don't, right. Frustrating as hell. And I don't think that Zach just knowing what the little we know of him. I mean, just as just a coach in general, I don't think he's that way. Hopefully, and I think he's open, obviously, to criticism and looking at, doing a lot of self scouting, looking back at this film and being like, Kirk was on with Rich Eisen, and he was like, disappointed we didn't execute to the level that we needed to. The timing was off. I mean, he talked about the snap to hit Dwelly, the timing on that was messed up, and he was just disappointed, basically, and he said he was fine, though. He said he felt good. So he felt good during the game, felt good after the game, didn't take any big hits. So it's like, all right, dude. I mean, if you're saying you're good to go, okay. But it's all good. Well, we just need to see a little bit different from the play caller then, if that's the case, going into Philly, because there's no way we can continue that type of game plan against those guys. And that's just like a continuation of that's one. Here's some silver lining too. We may go into Philly and do absolutely nothing what we just did against Pittsburgh, because none of that shit worked. So Philly's watching the tape and going, okay, they're going to do this, and we ain't going to do nothing like that because this was just ass. So we're going to try something completely different. So I don't know. That maybe that'll work to our advantage.
I got one more question for Dave. John, hold on, Dave. I got a question for you. Kind of unique question. Do you feel like there's any way? Now I understand when you pay somebody multi-million dollars, you may not want to play them in preseason because you can't afford, because you're gonna get dragged if they get hurt. But do you know of any way there's to simulate that game-like experience so that we don't have this every year?
And I would say I would be in favor of, especially if a guy like Kirk wants some limited preseason reps, that you give them to him, right? Like I think when the player is saying, hey, this would be helpful, I'm coming off a major injury, I think you got to listen to that. Do I expect that to actually happen? No. I think Raheem has been, to his credit, crystal clear. He's not being like, am I going to play my starters? You don't know. Like he's saying, I'm never going to, as long as I'm the coach, play my starters in preseason. And, he saw that a little bit with Dan Quinn, definitely with Sean McVay, where like you keep your starters healthy and that's what matters. You figure the rest out. And I tend to be with him on that. I tend to think that's far more important than getting a guy, 10, 20, 30 snaps. 30 might be good. But I do think that, there's a way to do that, to like walk that line.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of moot, because I don't think Raheem's going to do it. I just don't think he's ever going to put himself in a position where he could lose a starter in preseason.
Because you're going to get dragged. Yeah.
If they had lost Cousins in preseason, like,
oh my God,
imagine the conversation we'd be having right now. It would be, it's like a bizarro world version. Like everybody's saying like, we should have played him in preseason. And I agree with that up to a point. We'd all be sitting here going, I can't believe they played him in preseason. He's an old guy coming off an injury. Like it's just the circumstance. We know.
No, we said before the season, it's like he's damned either way. He's screwed if he plays him. He's screwed if he doesn't play him, because if he gets hurt, well, he's an idiot. If he doesn't get hurt and he looks like shit, like happened, well, you're an idiot. So it's like you're an idiot either way. And I don't. 15, 20 plays, maybe. And Savion said it on Saturday or Sunday after the game, and it makes sense. It doesn't necessarily help in a lot of things, but maybe the rhythm of the offense, getting just kind of just the normal everyday things down. So
is it like a stimulation instead of the real thing? Is
joint practice is the best thing you can come, and then that's still even controlled, but at least the defense doesn't know what you're doing. So it's better, but I mean
I could simulate pro level cornerback play if Kirk want to throw for like 2-3 seconds. I can act the part, I can dress the part, but I mean he getting by me right off the line. It's over right off the line. Yeah. But I just want to know if there was any way to simulate that. So maybe what he need? He need an Oculus. You know that thing by Samsung? He need an Oculus too, because it need to be where you hearing the noise so you don't come out rusty and take you 2, 3, 4 games to get going. It got to be a middle ground where you're not playing them, but he's got
to play some like Alien Isolation on there.
Something,
out, run away, like moving.
Dude, I
You know what I'm saying? Put the gloves on to have the little monitors on the fingers, and let's get going, man.
Dude, after Sunday, just put like Caleb right here and TJ right there. Then that's enough to scare him. Like he should be running like, yeah, exactly.
Right in his lap. Yeah.
Be hauling ass.
DJ, what up, buddy? DJ, good to see you, dude. Up, DJ.
Yeah, man.
Drew said, hopefully this defense can get spicy on Monday and get some takeaways. I'm waiting on those picks from Bates and Simmons.
Yep. So we're going to get into that. So
coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's circle back to that because I have some thoughts on that.
They coming.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at the Eagles now. We're getting into that. This is the stats from the game in Brazil against Green Bay. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he also fumbled the ball. He's starting to turn the ball over more, but he's still effective, which is, I don't know if that's just, it's a strange dynamic there, but he's still doing well. Saquon obviously went off. I think he was an offensive player of the week, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving, 24 carries, 109 yards. Of course, AJ Brown, 5 receptions, 119 yards, 24 yards per average with a touchdown. Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert rounded out their receiving core, and then their defense, Zach Bond, who nobody's ever heard of, but 15 total tackles, 11 solo, 2 sacks. I mean, him and Nakobe Dean played really good at linebacker during that game. So those guys might be an issue to deal with. Reed Blankenship played well at safety. Quinyon Mitchell, the rookie, who a lot of people wanted us to draft, 2 PBUs, got burnt a few times, but really, really did not look like a rookie. He looked really good out there. CJ Gardner-Johnson, we know what he brings. Darius Slay, of course, too. Jalen Carter, we're all familiar with Jalen Carter because half this fan base wanted Jalen Carter, maybe more than half the fan base wanted Jalen Carter during that draft. I know, yes, Mike and I both. I mean, that's who we wanted to draft that year, and we didn't. We got Bijan, and we love Bijan. That's great.
But shout out to Jalen.
He's here now. That's nothing we can do about that. So, but we got to face him, right? Him and Jordan Davis, and Jordan Davis had a good game. Really good in the run game, decent in pass rush. He's big dude, so he's not but I mean, the only thing that worries me is that interior is really good with him and Jalen Carter, and Jalen Carter especially. Dahlman and Bergeron got beat a decent amount on Sunday against that front against Pittsburgh. I hope that Lindstrom is obviously over Jalen, and we have some help on him, because the worst place in the world for a quarterback, especially one that can't move to take pressure, is right up the middle, and that's where they're good at now, because they're edge rushers. They signed Bryce Huff, who is a guy that I thought we should maybe go after. He got 0 pressures last week, actually, not 1 pressure, and he's essentially used kind of like and they paid him like $17 million, but he's basically being used as like a 3rd down pass rusher. So he didn't actually really do that well. Brandon Graham didn't do much. So again, like the really meat of their line is that interior. Josh Sweat, that was okay. Nolan Smith actually, I think, played more snaps than Bryce Huff did. So, I mean, they have a pretty scary defense. I mean, overall, when you look at it, especially just looking at what we did offensively, that makes you kind of concerned about what we're going to do against these guys, because again, they're going to bring plenty of pressure. I mean, they're going to, look at what happened to us. There's a blueprint. And then, like I said, we just got to hope that Zach and the offensive staff can counter that and do just something completely different. But looking at Philly, man, Dave, what are you worried about defensively? We'll start with defense.
Okay. I was going to say, where do you want me to start?
We'll start there.
A few things. Defensively, that's really it. Like, there's, the secondary obviously has some good pieces. I thought CJG looked CGJ. Sorry.
CG,
yeah, I mixed it up at first, but I thought he looked a little bit out of sorts. I don't know if he's getting older, he's just adjusting. But it's a secondary that can punish mistakes, and you have a front that can create mistakes. And I think that's what worries me, is we are in a block here where they're going to be facing a lot of that interior pressure that you're just discussing as a problem. We got Chris Jones again in a week. We got Vita Vea coming up. And this group right here, they're strong, they're deep. They do have the talent off the edge, even if they didn't play particularly well against Green Bay. Like that worries me, given what we saw from the offensive line against Pittsburgh. Obviously, there's no TJ Watt here, but I think you can make the reasonable case that like top to bottom, side to side, there's as much or more talent on Philadelphia. So if your game plan looks at all similar to what it did against the Steelers, if you don't knock off some of that rust, Kirk Cousins and the line included, like that's going to become a problem really quickly, and you're just not going to beat Philadelphia if the offense can't get going. Like that's a complete non-starter. They're not going to score 6 field goals. We know that.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, they put up 34 pretty easily on a good Packers defense too.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's that's a little worrisome. The only, I guess, good thing, not good thing, but Avonte Maddox is there or was hopefully still is their slot corner, and he had a pretty bad day. Jaden Reed destroyed him. I think he was actually the lowest rated corner of the weekend. So if he continue that against us, that'd be great. Whoever we put in the slot. Devin White, who we all know really well from Tampa Bay, didn't have a good game. He's been off and on hurt. I don't know that he'll be out there all that much. And I mean, defensively, man, like if they don't have as deep a rotation as they once had with the defensive line, with the guys that Hassan Reddick's not there anymore, and it's definitely a different line. It's just they're going to come at you a little bit differently, but it's still a good line. Yeah. So I don't know, Mike. Basic concerns? Same thing for you.
Defensive line is because the offensive line. I think the main thing. I think one aspect that people leave out on the offensive line is cohesiveness and confidence, and that got to build like as the season go. And to get punched in, them black one of your eyes, then black the other. To start the year off blind is like. I don't think that you have confidence after you get your ass kicked twice in a row. It's harder and harder because, man, momentum swing both ways. If you was doing well, it'd be going in your favor. But if you get bullied 2 straight games, you start feeling soft in your heart, and we can't afford that.
No.
We can't afford that. In the home of the Rocky statue, we got to take it home, buddy. Yeah. We need fans to go to Philadelphia and make some noise because I'm a little offended and insulted at what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, that's always the case with Pittsburgh, man. Yeah. Always.
But don't get beat up because they will beat you up. So don't say I didn't.
Yeah,
you will have 2 black eyes as well, but still go and rise up.
Yeah, you got to be careful where you go, where you sit, what you say, all that good stuff. You got to be careful.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But defensive lines,
Yeah. And offensive, and I totally agree. That's pretty much, we all agree on that. And we'll probably, who knows how we're going to line up offensively as far as our receiving core goes. I mean, we saw Ray obviously get a lot of attention, oddly enough on Sunday. So, we'd like to shift that to, like the Eagles look there with AJ with 5 receptions, 120 yards. We'd love to see Drake London with that type of line, you know what I mean? Yeah. And see Drake and see Mooney with Kyle Pitts, whoever, one of those guys, it's, we don't need another somebody trying to outthink the next guy. We already went through that. It didn't work. We just need somebody to go, hey, this works. Let's just use our guys where they're successful and play to their strengths, and let's just score some points. That's what we're shooting for. Offensively, Jalen Hurts, man, he's been an enigma for some of Philadelphia fans. He's been really, really good, playing like an MVP level, and then, a lot of fans thought he regressed last year, and we're worried about him, especially with the turnovers and stuff like that. He turned the ball over against Philly, but he made some just ridiculous throws from inside the pocket, which is traditionally he hasn't been great inside the pocket. When you keep in the pocket making a throw, not great. When he gets outside, he starts running. Obviously, we know he's a strong ass dude. He doesn't mind contact. He's going to take guys with him. He's a different type of quarterback when he runs. So, I mean, I'm definitely a little concerned with him, but I do think he's going to turn it over. I do think he's going to throw a pick or 2. Yeah. And when we get those, we need to freaking score off of him. Not 3 points. We need if he gives us more opportunities, we have to go score off of him.
But that's the only time that I love negative thinking Johnny Yates. More of it, buddy. More. He's going to throw 2 interceptions. I'm with the negative thinking when it comes to that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dave, you were talking about the Simmons and Bates earlier. I mentioned that, this would be a great time for them to jump a route or confuse Jalen a little bit.
100%. I think it's inevitable that he turns it over, right? Like that's Hurts is such an interesting player to me because it feels like every year he comes in and like his chart goes a different way. It's like this year he's not good passing from the pocket, and then all of a sudden he's great at that, but he's going to turn the ball over a lot more. and he's a less effective runner this weekend. So he's a talent. Like, he is an incredibly talented dude, but he's prone to making mistakes, and they have to take advantage of that. They have to take advantage of it, like you said, on the offense too. You got to score some points off these turnovers. But I would be astonished if he doesn't turn the ball over on Sunday, and I think that's your clearest path to victory, right? Because this team is talented, and like when he's on and this passing attack is going and Barkley's running well, like, it's one of the more talented offenses in the league. So that's a problem. So you have to be able to get those turnovers and then capitalize off them. If you can't do that, if we come out of this game with Jalen Hurts with no turnovers and the Falcons win, I will be gobsmacked. That's not going to happen.
Same.
So,
yeah, and he's been, the reason he throws the picks is he's very aggressive, and he'll throw it in the area sometimes where he shouldn't throw it. But he's trying to fit in a ball, whatever the case may be. He doesn't have that good an arm. He's got a good arm, but it's not like he can just zip it in there type of arm. But that's where he makes those mistakes. So if he would start checking it down a little bit more, he probably wouldn't run into some of those issues, which hopefully he doesn't. It's been 2-3 seasons now. It's been similar. So hopefully he doesn't all of a sudden just realize, hey, I think they're kind of mixed. I think they don't want to take that and make him not be aggressive. I think they don't want him to just all of a sudden start being checked down Charlie all of a sudden. But because a lot of those passes, they still win the game. They still win ball games. It's like that's still, even with some of the turnovers. But their offensive line obviously looks a little bit different this year. And I can bring up, I mean a little bit by just like, basically Kelsey being not there anymore. But what's his name? Was it Kruger? I got the depth chart right here. What's his name? Yeah, Cam Jerkins. That's it. Yeah, Cam Jerkins, not Kruger.
Yeah.
He had actually a pretty good game against the Packers. Landon Dickerson, Georgia Mailata, Lane Johnson at right tackle. We know obviously one of the best right tackles in the game. And then Mekhi Becton, man, like rookie out of Louisville. He's 6'7", 363. Dude allowed 0 pressures in his first game as a rookie. So that's pretty impressive. The last few drafts, man, they just keep finding guys that they can just throw right in there and they just hit from the start, and it's very annoying. But AJ Brown, we know he's an issue. We know Devonta Smith with his speed route running is an issue. They added Jahan Dotson, obviously, from the Commanders. Didn't see anything last week, though, really. It was just the Barkley and AJ Brown show for the most part. So, yeah, their offense, like you said, it's one that can get going. You don't want him to get a lot of momentum. We want to keep him off the field if at all possible, as much as possible. So, again, it's going to be, as much as it's going to be on the defense to really trying to get those turnovers, it's going to be so much on the offense too, to get their shit together and actually put together long developing drives. So they're not out there, and that we don't want it to turn in like the end of last season where our defense is on the field so damn much and they are wore the hell out by the end of the game, and it's just impossible to come back. We got
the number one thing that will extend that drive is Tyler Algier.
Tell him, buddy.
You will extend a whole lot more drives, man. Get that man the ball more than 3 times. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. I get. Look, 60%.
You got that faithful girl at home, but you want to strip her. Shame on you. Shame on you, Raheem.
Bijan saw 60% of the offense last week.
That can't happen. And I love Bijan, but you can't give the man 3 carries. He is too good to do that.
Look, if the stripper can put a couple defenders in the dirt, though, you gotta make
that's it is. Is the stripper can home run it, and that's all it is. So Tyler, 21 yards on 3 carries, 7 yards. He is what CP was when he first got it. He's electricity. Every run, he's carrying 3-4 people. He knocks somebody down, the whole crowd get up. And he seemed like he'd get better. Like Adrian Peterson used to do that. The 3rd and 4th quarter was when he was really putting. I was like, how are you getting stronger as the game go on? That's what Tyler does, but you can't give him 3. That's not even a valid sample size to do an experiment in science class. And I still remember that, Mr. Brenton. I love you, buddy. Millie said Kyle Pitts and Isaiah Likely are the same player. And it's always been, come on, man. We thought Kyle was a unicorn.
and likely had a hell of a game too against. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
almost won
did.
the game against. If it wasn't for his big toe being a little bit long, I mean, like if he was a half size less, shorter, he would have won the game. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the jury's still out on Pitts, man. I want him to be utilized more as, again, what he's good at, and which is not inline blocking. Just if you don't want to say, just say he's a receiver. I don't even give a shit. Just call him a receiver. Call him wide receiver 2, 3, 4, whatever. Don't even like. I don't know. You don't have to keep trying to trot him out there as a blocker. William Amy said, need more turnovers and points on the board. Yeah, turnovers is a big thing. Yeah, I mean, we didn't get any last week. Pittsburgh had 3. I mean, like Kirk said, and I think Raheem said too, you turn the ball over 3 times, it's tough to win the game, especially when you don't take it away yourself. It's almost impossible. So
Kyle Pitts, man, I'm sure you could call Tony G. I'm sure he would give you some pointers on any questions you might ask, man. But that's a great resource to not use, and I could tell you're not using it. Call that man and ask him something. Just make up a question. You call his number today.
Dude, and yeah, exactly. And 2 things we can take advantage of too. Defensively, I mentioned this earlier. The Eagles were 4, and we weren't good either, but Eagles were 4-14 on third down last week, which is terrible, obviously. So if we can continue that and get them off the field, awesome. That's another nice recipe for success. But we weren't that much better at third. I don't know what ours was, but it wasn't great either. It was probably somewhere around that. And then as far as their offensive line goes and Jalen goes, when they blitzed him, he was 6 of 7 still against the blitz. So that's not good. So, I mean, of course, we didn't do much blitzing ourselves, so we don't really know how that's all going to shape out from a defensive standpoint. It's just all so young, man. The season's so – you're 1 game in, and it was a mixed bag on offense. Just new coordinator, old hurt QB. We think is hurt QB. We don't. I mean, it's just a weird. It's hard to take anything from it. Like Kyle Brandt says on Good Morning Football, like the week 1's a liar. Like it's it's always a liar. It's like you never, whether it's really positive or really bad.
Yep.
Either
way.
It's hard to take. I mean, the Saints go out there and smash the Panthers 47-10.
I was just gonna say that people are already talking like, oh yeah, we got the NFC South's better than we thought. I'm like, no, they played the Panthers. Panthers. Like I'm pretty sure we could get like a Falcons content creation team together that would, tie the Panthers. I feel confident in that.
The poor Panthers do, and they just lost Derek Brown for the season too.
I mean, they're just like I'm circling that matchup on my calendar like 15 times. I want some revenge for last year.
If we're not 2-0, we got problems. We got to sweep them this year.
Yeah,
have to,
big
man.
Time.
Yeah.
Smitty, what up, buddy? Cool stuff. I want to share. Said I drafted Andrew, so I'm screwed on the tight end front. You gotta make that move tonight, sir. So it process in the morning.
Yeah, we got Millie and Liam talking a bunch of fantasy team here in the chat. Dave, what's up?
Some of y'all panicking over. Dave, what up? So the same way some of y'all panicking over y'all squad on week 1, a lot of y'all panicking about them fantasy players. I seen a lot of players get, I'm gonna move this, draft this, move. Y'all panicking already. You never know if that guy you waive next week gonna score 3 touchdowns and you won't forgive yourself. Be a little bit more patient. Falcons fan forever said, go Falcons, maybe get this win on Monday. It won't be easy. Nothing good is ever easy, buddy.
Except not at all, man. Appreciate you being here, man.
That goes.
That is, yes. We're
Falcons
actually.
Fan forever said, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah,
rise up, Jamal. Rise up.
What's up, Jamal? You and I are actually playing each other this week, and I'm gonna get.
Me and you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna get just destroyed.
Okay, Johnny Yates was. I don't know what John was doing when we was drafting.
I got handed a terrible position. Every time I got to pick, it was like, there is nothing here for me to take that's going to help my team. And it was just, I've got 3 decent running backs, and I'm going to start Baker Mayfield this week. That's what I'm asking. I'm going to do a quarterback and to see what happens, and hope for the best. We'll see. We said Barkley doesn't go off on Green Bay, my fantasy QB would be healthy. Hey, well, fantasy, man.
Marcel, what's good, John and Mike? Don't know the third. Oh, that's Dave choked the goat.
If you're not on Twitter, if you're not on Twitter, Jamal, you probably wouldn't. I mean, this is the Falcoholic himself, man. This is the Falcoholic. It's been around for, I don't know, was it, Dave, 15 years, 20 years? What is it now?
This is actually my 18th year.
18.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Eric King, what's up, man? Yeah, that's wild. All right, man. So, Mike, score prediction, buddy. What you got?
Going against the Eagles, I'm gonna say we eke that one. I'm gonna say 21-15 Falcons.
21-15 Falcons.
21-15.
Dave, what you got, buddy?
I hate to say it, but I'm going to say 24-17 Eagles.
Liam said they scoring 60 at them. Oh, so hold on, man. You say what,
Jesus.
Dave?
Oh,
24-17 Eagles. So,
oh, okay. Liam said we scored 7-8. Okay.
Yeah.
24-17.
Yeah, I've had these next 2 weeks down as losses, and after last week,
at least it's close in your mind. It's some people think we're gonna get steamrolled and embarrassed.
I have a feeling like the Eagles are just that team, right? Like they make too many mistakes, and I'm hoping that holds, and they can sneak one out, but I'm not expecting it. So,
yeah, I mean, I really want to predict a win, but I can't this week either. So I got to go 31-20, Philadelphia. I think the offense improves, but I need to see it. I need Zach to prove it. I need Kirk to prove it. I need those guys to like make everybody feel at ease that this was not week 1 was an aberration. I'm good. My Achilles is good. I can plant. I can throw. I can make smart decisions. For Zach, I can call a good game. I can self-evaluate, change up things that are not working and go from there. But I mean, like Dave, I hope we're both terribly wrong and we upset them, because there's not going to be. Look, this is the only thing that's really good in my eyes. Nobody expects us to win or even possibly compete. I mean, like every media member, everybody's picking Philadelphia, like 100% across the board. Nobody's going to pick Atlanta. I think we're 6.5 point underdogs right now, which is kind of crazy to me. I thought it'd be higher. Which really in the NFL, if you get to like 9 or 10, that's about, unless it's just way like 14, you hardly ever see 14 points in the NFL. But I figured 9 or 10 at least probably might be the case. But if we can keep it close, we will see, man.
Man, I don't need to see it, fellas. I got blind faith, all right? I got Devontae Freeman on my last fantasy team, okay? I make no sense when I choose. I'm loyal to a fault, okay? Come on, fellas. Don't let me down. Don't get embarrassed, because Philly fans will be much worse than Pittsburgh fans, and we will lose within the same state twice in 2 weeks. It's going to be bad, so we can never go back there for a cheesesteak or nothing like that. So, come on. Don't embarrass me, man. The nerd thinks in positive light, these 3 games might be what the Falcons need to knock the rust off, and strike hard, because all we need to win is one of these. And, oh, man, it's going to go, the electricity going to go so far. 330 said, can our coaches scheme and then, if necessary, make proper productive adjustments? Now, that should be just standard in the coaching playbook. But for some reason, the Falcons be like, try it again. And if it don't work, you keep trying it again, and you try and try. Man, you could just tell that these guys are good parents, because they tell their kids, you try and you never give up, and you try and try and try again. It don't matter if you successful, if you making a fool of yourself, if you wasting resources. Oh, just keep going. So we hope they get it together, buddy.
Yeah, man.
But I got faith in the squad. Millie Mills said, but Judon will be fun to watch this year. Yes, sir. I can care less about AK. I'm kind of done with his ass. He shouldn't have changed that number. I didn't like that.
Didn't quite have that ring in it too anymore.
He's not the same.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Yeah, Liam. Kenny G. He said, tell John put those biceps away before he hurt someone. I'm gonna tell you, John going to the gym. This is a quick funny story. Don't never go to the gym with John as the buddy, because John will embarrass you immediately as soon as you go in there. John warm up with your best that you could imagine in your mind. So if you had a dream and you dreamed the perfect dream, whatever you was holding in your dream is what John is going to start off with, and then he's going to quadruple in size. So not only did he embarrass you with the weight he grabbed, but now he looked like Incredible Hulk and you look like Ant-Man. It's a bad look for anybody.
The small Ant-Man, not the giant one. Yeah,
the small one.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass yourself. Don't try to compete with Johnny Yates when it comes to that. That's what he does.
But I immediately shrink back to normal though as soon as we leave the gym. It only lasts. It's just that pump, and then you leave, and it's like you're like,
dog. I swear to God, I'm not playing. He doubles in size. However big y'all think John is, he doubles in size. I'm not even being funny. Immediately, the first warm up.
It's just maybe it's a pre-workout. Yeah. Maybe it's pre-gym. Maybe it's the pre-gym. I'm drinking all the time. It's the caffeine. It's the creatine. Everything is constantly just flowing through me. I'm telling you, man, that's where it's at.
Well, Wallace, what's going on? Rise up, buddy.
Yeah, man. Kenny, we appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
We got to get Kenny G back. It's been
gotta
too
get
damn
Kenny
long.
G
Holy
back
hell,
on,
it's
man.
been a long time since
Kenny
we got
off the Henny. We got to run that back.
Yeah, man. He's doing great work for Savion too, right? And with supporting news. So
yes,
make sure you check Kenny G out on there. Millie said 34-24 Eagles.
Nerd Can I get somebody else? There we go. I just needed one more. To feed my delusion, 30-27 Falcons. I can't go against the home team. I can't either. 2016. But who, Josh? Who you saying? 2016.
Leave it by a field goal. I love it.
That's the same thing I think that we win by a fumble or something. Tim Riley said, there's never any time at any game a diehard fan I will never prefer. Buddy, you sound like Slim Shady. Joshua, okay, so ATL. I got you, buddy. So everybody's saying by 3 points. Early's Falcon, I'm hoping the best for CP3. Hey, that's everybody, man. We cannot be mad at that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Ward said, y'all see, we worked out. I don't even know how to say that. I won't even try. Witherspoon and a few speedsters. Man, I wanted John Ross.
Yeah, Witherspoon just
take the top off like girls going wild is what I said, man. Let him do it, John Ross. I don't care if it's a decoy. That'd be a hell of a decoy, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, Witherspoon just signed with the Rams today, unfortunately. So that sucks. Yeah, that sucks.
The speedster, though, like they lost Rondale Moore and then they lost Grant. So, like, I still think they want to fill that role. Mm-hmm. So
I agree.
It happens.
Yeah, I agree.
Tim Riley says, as a diehard Dirty Bird fan, how can I predict? Dog, I make that practice every week. I bet with my emotions. I done lost parlays due to this. I done started fantasy players that I shouldn't have. Loyal to a fault, buddy. I got a Colts Matt Ryan jersey. If that don't speak for itself, nothing will, man.
Well, I like it, MW.
Michael Ward said 20. So everybody's saying that 3 points, that last second field goal.
This guy. Look at this guy.
My biceps are bigger, trust.
No, not yet, Budro. But no, look, there's a reason why we have to look. So Mike, when he picks this, when we before the season, when we picked the overall record, right? Mike always says 17-0. Yeah, so I mean, so it's easy for him to pick a win every time. So I said 11 and 11-7. So 11-6. So I've got to pick 6 games we're losing, right?
Yeah,
I have to. So I got to go with, and this is gonna be one of them. I hope it's not. Because I really don't want to. I don't. I mean, we'll talk about Patrick Mahomes and those guys whenever we get there. But anyway, man. So look, we'll end the actual Philadelphia Eagle talk there. Dave, you want to stay for like under overrated and in or out stuff that we got going on here?
Absolutely. I'm
cool.
In. Yep.
Well, before we get started with that, I don't think we've ever done a show on 9/11 before, man. So we'd be remiss if we don't mention that, because we do actually, believe it or not, folks, we have people that listen to us and watch us that live not in Georgia, that are in DC, that are in New York, that are all around all around the country, all around the world, actually, according to our analytics, which I hope is correct. But like, again, man, if anybody, anyone that's affected by that 23 years ago, man, thoughts with you guys. It never gets easier, of course. Like it's just a hard reminder every year on that date. That was just like everybody remembers what they're. Actually, Mike, I don't think we ever talked about where were you? What were you doing when it happened?
I have no idea. I'll be honest.
You don't remember?
I was on drugs somewhere and was out of my mind. I
mean, that's honesty right there, buddy.
Yeah, but who knows? But I will say this: it's tough because today is my brother's birthday. So while everyone's sad, we pouring shots and celebrating. I'm sorry, everybody, but it is weird. It's weird to have. I feel sorry for anybody like my brother to have a birthday on like any type of date like this.
Right? Yeah, that sucked. Yeah. Dave, what about you, buddy? Where were you at? You remember?
Yeah, I was in high school. I remember them bringing the TV in the room, right? Like that's I don't know if they still do that or not. I'm old now, but they wheeled it in.
Dude.
And we were watching it. I was like 16. So it's I definitely remember that. That's a tough day.
Yeah, man. It's weird. Like my dad woke me up. I was in college. I was still asleep, and I hadn't gone to class yet, but he woke me up and was like, "Hey, you got to turn the TV on." Turned on, and it's like, holy smokes, like what is going on? It was just, you couldn't believe what you were kind of seeing, and like at the we actually, my wife, still my wife, we had the same class. So we carpooled to Georgia State, and we drove down there, got to class, and we were in the class for maybe half hour, maybe. And the professor was like, hey, they're closing the city down. Like, my wife works at the federal building. Y'all go home. And it was like a mass exodus from downtown Atlanta. It was the weirdest thing. It was 9 a.m. in the morning or 10, whatever it was, 10 a.m. in the morning or 11. I don't know. It was in the morning, but everybody was leaving. It was the opposite direction from Atlanta. It was just crazy. It was wild. But anyway, as I said, I want to mention that since, it is in 9/11. So on to happier things, happier subject. Hey, Aries said,
Falcon fan from Cali. Man. We appreciate you, buddy.
About the same time, man.
That's 90. I love it.
About the same time.
Andre Rison. I'm the Alabama Dirty Bird. That's a good name for Johnny Yates. That's Johnny Yates. Falcon fans forever said, maybe beat the Eagles. It won't be easy. He sounded like the start of a poem. Like, what's this about if we can focus on the run game with Tyler? Come on, you were supposed to rhyme that. May we beat the Eagles. It won't be easy. Then you were supposed to come with something.
So I got to shout out Mike. I got to shout out our boy Chris Howard. He just sent me a text. He's watching the show, and Chris is a Saints fan from Louisiana. He's been on our show before. For any of you old school fans of the show, y'all have seen Chris on the show a couple of times. He said 24-17 Falcons, buddy.
Oh, a Saints fan rooting for the Falcons. You out of your Falcon mind. I love it. Now I will. Man, I'm going to put that on the billboard right in front of New Orleans so Chris can never go home. I'm going to just take a picture. He can never visit home again. Thank you, Chris.
All right, man. So let's have some fun, man. So if for anybody new to the show, we do some different things to close the show down. We'll do underrated, overrated. We'll do in or out. We'll play some different games. We might combine the games. It's our show. We decide to do the show however we want to do it. So we may just combine them today. We might just do both because I kind of got ideas for both of them. So, Mike, whatever you want to do, buddy, you start it off.
Oh, I want to say what's underrated. Let me tell you how small, man. It's the little things in life that I enjoy, buddy. Let me tell you how little. Man, I downloaded the ESPN app, okay? And I was walking around with my phone, and y'all don't know how giddy I get for stupid shit like this. The sound, you're done. Oh my God! Oh, you couldn't have told me I wasn't Rich Eisen. The thing go off when it's an alert. It make the sports center noise. Oh my God, my day is made. Done multiple times a day. I feel like a sports insider. I feel like the man. This was the best purchase I got in the last few months. The ESPN app, just for that noise alone. I love it. Underrated.
See, I thought I was feeling bad about myself with the whole technology thing. You made me feel better now. So see,
I love it, man. I heard that noise. I was like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing ever."
Yeah, exactly. No, Mike is not from New Orleans.
No, I'm from DC, Washington, DC.
Yeah, he's from DC.
No, I mean Chris can't go home because Chris is from.
Say that name, Mike.
The jizzers, that is hilarious. I'm bricked up. And then you troll. That's a good troll. If you was going to troll, that's
underrated.
Great. Right, that's grade A trolling. That's underrated. You are underrated, sir. You are a great American.
We are missing. Where the hell is Dr. Slicknuts at?
Yeah, shout out to you, buddy. That was good.
We got the Jizzer system, freaking Dodger. That's fucking phenomenal. I love you guys. All right, man. All right. So for me, underrated. Oh wait, I'll go overrated, man. Fighting a game. What are y'all doing fighting at football games? There was at the Raiders Chargers game, there was like 10 fights, literally. And it's football, man. It's not. I know y'all don't like each other. I mean, we don't like Saints fans. I have no intention of going beating the shit out of a Saints fan at a game. Like, no matter what they say. Like, I don't really care. It's football. Like, it's like seeing some of this stuff online. You got women getting involved, hitting dudes, dudes hitting women. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, don't do that. Y'all are idiots. Y'all are the biggest dumbasses in the world. Y'all fighting in football games. Anyway, all right, Dave, on to you, buddy.
I'm gonna go overrated, and I'm gonna throw my old person with technology thing in the ring. I hate how everything is a different channel, app, streaming thing. Like every Sunday, because I'm out of market. Like, I'm like, oh, surely the game is on Sunday Ticket, which I paid $400 for, but no, it's on Fox. And if I want to watch it, because I don't have my local cable, I got to find the Fox Sports app. I got to log into it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm trying to write about the game at the same time. Like, I just feel old now. It's like everything's on something different. It pisses me off. Get off my
I love it. Oh, I totally agree. Oh, I got one. How about what is it? Overrated is the Atlanta Falcon fans. I'm dragging y'all today, okay? Y'all, though I had told John this today, okay? This is the first day ever. I don't take this stuff serious. It's all fun and games. But I was driving today. I was on TikTok and I was on Instagram while I was driving, just cruising for a bruising. So I was doing that while I was driving, and I noticed that the culture here seems to be like we take just as much joy in making fun of our team as we do praising our team. And I don't see that in if you go to other places. Like when the Redskins, oh, excuse me, don't catch me. When the Commanders start off slow, the whole city is still with them. How about the Cowboys start off slow? The whole city is still with them. Philly start off slow. How about the Chiefs? Anyone else start off slow? The whole city is still with them. Just like, okay, man, y'all start making memes and skits and cursing and arguing and dragging each other and dragging the team and insulting the players and insulting the coaching and say we wasted our money. Like, damn. But I'm sure that y'all have kids that are trash at something and you just get, yeah, Johnny, you great and you can keep doing. Hey, that same attitude with your team, man. Just keep on plugging away. Stay positive, man, because some of y'all I think y'all get just as much enjoyment from dragging the team or when we do bad than when we do good. And that should be a drop off. You should be much happier when we doing good. But some of y'all just yearn to say, same old Falcons. I knew it was going to be this shit all the time. Y'all, man, after week 1, how brittle is your spirit? What type of fan are you? You ought to wear a jersey that is the same cloth as the Hulk Hogan shirt, because that's how brittle your spirit is. So anytime you get mad, you just rip it off and you don't have to wear it. Don't you go spend good money on a nice stitched jersey of quality, okay? Because it means something to wear that red and black, and you should wear it with pride and at least get to week 4 or 5 before you saying, you know what, it's not going good. I got some harsh criticisms to say. Because after one game, to watch our own fans handle it like they handle it, it was really disappointing. I literally had to pull over and remind myself to not take this serious because it was aggravating me. I don't like when people insult the city of Atlanta because it's a great city for a million reasons, way more than football. I don't like when people insult the state of Georgia because I'm from up top. It's nowhere close to what you have down here that a lot of people from here don't appreciate. And I don't like when they insult my Atlanta Falcons because I argue for them since I was 9 years old. And I finally got to the utopia where I get to see them, where I thought we would all be in our jerseys because I'm not from here. And then y'all turning on me. Come on, man. It's not adding up. So I just encourage you to stay positive, man. Be better fans. Don't leave the game early when the game can still be won. Come on, y'all. It's embarrassing to be a Falcon fan sometimes because of the way y'all handle stuff. If like we won't get respect as a football city until we act like a football city. So y'all are underrated. I mean, y'all overrated. Shame on you all.
No, dude, but you know what though? There's like a group of fans, like they just wait every year for it though.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just they're so jaded from it or like, I don't know. It's just, you know, the folks on Twitter, like there's some that just literally are just like, they already got the tweet saved.
Yeah.
They're just ready to just hit send as soon as shit goes sideways, man. All right. I don't know if y'all heard the story or not, but, and I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it actually got proven true or not, but I saw it on Barstool Sports. So take it or leave it for, some shit on there is not right.
Shout out to Barstool.
But yeah, shout out to them anyway. So did you hear about this Deion Sanders thing, Mike?
No, about a rap song?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was true, but go ahead. I didn't read the whole story. Go ahead.
Dave, you hear this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I believe it or not, but it
sounds crazy.
It seems credible.
It sounds crazy, but it seems exactly. Yeah. So essentially, Deion said he is going to instruct the band to not play the fight song when Shador scores a touchdown, and instead play Shador's rap song over the speaker system, which is I don't even know what to say, man.
Like, I hope that's not true.
I mean,
and I think I don't know that it's true. I think it's like it people just believe whatever you say about that program at this point because Deion's always been a great promoter of the brand, and he's a great promoter for Shador. He's he's been great for Colorado in a lot of ways. But you also are like, oh yeah, I buy that. Like this is happening because he's a guy who promotes. So yeah, I don't know. That was an interesting one.
And like our buddy Stephen Hare, we were texting the other day about it, and he was like, "Man, I'm kind of glad that we went ahead and drafted Penix. So Shador's not even going to be in the conversation because wherever he's drafted, Deion's going to have some type of influence, say like being right there. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's going to be just a smooth transition for Shador into the league. I don't think it's without Deion being there. So yeah, that was neither underrated or just thought that was a crazy ass story. But yeah, Dave, you got anything else underrated or overrated you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I'm going to throw out an underrated because I think after all these years he still is Grady Jarrett, right? Like,
I love it.
Nobody was in the mood to talk positive, but to have that all-time quarterback hits, mark, it's just one statistic, but he passed John Abraham in that. And this is a guy who I look at him every year in the same way that, we looked at Matt Ryan. Maybe you look at Jake Matthews. I know some people hate Jake Matthews, so we can leave him out of here. But Jarrett to me is like the quintessential Falcon of this era, right? Like he is the guy who has been there through thick and thin. He's put it all on the line. He's consistently great. And, at the end of his career, he's probably not going into the Hall of Fame. Hopefully he's going into the Ring of Honor. But I still think he's a guy that we underrate him a little bit. Like coming back from a major injury on the wrong side of 30 as a defensive tackle and just wrecking shop first week of the season. Like that's fantastic. So it made my heart happy to see it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was happy to see that too, man. That's a great one. Mike, you got any more, buddy?
Last one I got was what was underrated was, if y'all remember, Curtis Lofton and Sean Witherspoon. Oh, Curtis Lofton was the man on Madden. He could chase anybody down. I don't care who your running back was. If I had Curtis Lofton, he could catch him. And Sean Witherspoon is grossly underrated. He was really good before he got injured. He was really, really, really good. And so was Curtis Lofton. So just wanted to give a shout out. Man, we got a lot of Falcons that were really good who don't quite make Ring of Honor good, but who did play very well for us at the time they was here, and there was two of them. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray Buchanan. Ray Buchanan was the second cool behind Deion. So Deion was cool 1A. Ray was cool 1B. Shout out to Ray Buchanan.
Yeah, man. Ryan, Birdcage, what's up, buddy?
Birdcage. Like button smash.
Hey, appreciate you, buddy. And make sure y'all check out Birdcage tomorrow night. I think 8 o'clock. Yeah, we gotta get up with Ryan and do a show too for sure, man. I was trying to catch up. Dirty Fanatics, what's going on, Chase?
Dirty Chase, what up? Man,
I
love that emoji.
Man, make sure. I know. That's awesome. Y'all gotta check out them as well. I believe. Man, Chase, I'm gonna get it wrong, buddy. Just, if you're still in the chat, drop when y'all show is, man, so you can get it out there. Nerd King said, "I'm ripping my shirt off." You best believe.
Hulkamania is running wild. Harry Falcon said, "I think because Falcon fans expect them to be great out the door. I'm just excited though. Dog, that's how I felt. I was sad that you couldn't bring me down on Sunday. You could not bring. You could ask John. I was so you couldn't. Just that they was on the TV." And I was getting to watch him play. It was nothing like you couldn't bring me down. Even though we lost, I was still like, well, next week, and I go, and that's how I predict. So I say we go in 17-0 until we lose. And so then I say 16-1. We lose again, I say 15-2. I just keep going down. But I always have faith in my team. It's a pleasure. We only get this for such a short period out the year. So you better have fun with it, enjoy the entire culture of it, and enjoy the entire experience from the morning and the sports shows to the reviews of the sports highlights. You got to love it. It's nothing like it.
I love it. Jesus just says, Eagles going to do-do on y'all, man. Not going
to. Oh, come on, man. Hey, I like
hey, but look, he's also used turd burglars, which is one of my favorite.
Hey, dog, I got to get – he get 1,000 points for this.
So,
yeah.
But look, I mean – I don't know who you're a fan of, but you're welcome anytime. You want to come by?
Yes, anytime.
It's not just for Falcons fans. If you want to come by and just, say dumb shit, it's cool. It's fine. We enjoy it. It's fun.
It's out of your Falcon mind. We welcome it.
It's out of your Falcon mind. Yeah, as long as it's not insane like this jackass I had to block earlier. I don't even talk about what he was saying. But anyway,
okay.
So I guess that's pretty much it in the chat, man. Y'all got anything else? We can add it. Oh, never mind. He says he is a Falcons fan. Then why'd you say? Then you're confusing, dude. You said
he's just trolling. I love it.
I'm not even understand what's happening. So I'm scrolling really fast.
The Rubik's Cube of comments. I love it.
I'm scrolling through his comments as fast as I can, but it's like, man. All right. Anyway, Dave, man, we appreciate you coming by, dude. Oh wait, I had one more. Overrated. The debates. Did y'all watch the debates last night?
No,
I was not going to do that.
No. Yeah, I never watched.
I watched the first hour, and because I thought, if anything, it'd be entertaining, right? And trust me, we're not getting political on the show because I mean, we're just not going to do that. But man, like that's something else, man. Like anybody that spent the full 2 hours, God bless you, man. That was, I don't know. You're not going to learn anything really much new about the people, maybe, except how they respond to certain questions or don't respond to certain questions. But man, it was, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'll just say it's a sad state of affairs for pretty much the entire system right now, man. It's
man,
crazy.
I got one more Falcon question for Dave. Dave, you got a magic ball, but you got one wish. It was a lot of things wrong on Sunday, but you can fix one. The most important thing you would fix if you had one wish to correct one thing would be what? The most important one to you.
Yeah, this is actually a really tough one because, again, like, are we assuming that Kirk Cousins? So like, I think my wish would be like, I would say Kirk Cousins is feeling like he's 25 again, right?
Okay.
Like he's totally healthy, like he's a spring chicken, whatever you want to call him. That would be my wish, because I do think the game plan was kind of built around the idea that he wasn't, right? So like, let's assume that he feels great. He springs out of bed. He's like jumping and sprinting all over the field. Before things get going, we change our game plan accordingly. We beat the Steelers. Like, but I'd like to think that's what happens. Now, if you're going to argue that he's totally healthy, I'd have to use a different wish, but it's too late. I already did it. So
I love it. So John, I got one for you. John, same crystal ball, but you can neutralize one Eagles weapon on Sunday. Who you neutralize? Who you taking off the board?
God dang, dude.
I'm talking about no effect. Like they're done. You totally neutralize.
Offensively or defensively?
Yep. Whoever you want, but just one person.
I'll say Saquon.
Okay.
And it's tough. That's a tough one because, like, you almost want to say AJ because of what, our issue. I don't want to say our AJ's issue with bigger, but like just what Saquon can do in the passing game and the running game. Like that's kind of scary. But I was honestly thinking about Jalen Carter too, to be honest.
Yeah.
So he wasn't. So he's not blowing up the middle of the line, But yeah, that's about where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Anywho,
I love it. Let's go. Let's beat the Eagles. Y'all famous for a bell. That's cracked. Come on, man.
We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy. We love you, man.
Anyway, all right, man. So, Dave, tell the folks where they can find you, what's going on with the Falcoholic, all that good stuff.
Yep. We're at the Falcoholic on Twitter. Thefalcoholic.com is the website. And we're doing all the Monday night breakdowns. A little bit of dread in there, not gonna lie. Wrote a couple articles. They didn't come out super positive, but that's okay. It's 1 week at a time. So a lot of good game preview stuff though, and Trayshawn Diaz has been writing a ton for us and doing great work. So check out his stuff.
Yeah, man, our boy Trayshawn's doing. I was so happy he got over there. We've had him on so many times too, and we got to get with Trey again too. So it was awesome to see him.
And I should say, real quick, that the Falcoholic Live is going on right now too. Kevin Knight is with Joe Patrick at 92.9. So after we're done here, hop over there.
Love it, man. Yeah, definitely. And Joe too. Joe's one of our favorite dudes too, man. Absolutely, man. All right. Well, Dave, Dan, thanks so much as always coming by and sticking around for the full hour and a half, man. We appreciate the hell out of you, buddy.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Always is. Love it, fellas.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man.
Dog, I swear, man, if I could have a beer with two people, it'll be Dave and Lil Wayne. It'll be the weirdest beer ever. It would be Dave and Lil Wayne. I love it.
I would love that beer.
Lil
Wayne, let's do it.
Me, you, and Lil Wayne having a Sammy Adams, buddy. You can't beat it.
I'm 100% on board. Let's do it.
Let's go, Wayne.
Well, hey, man, if you make it down, like I said, we said last season, if you happen to make it down anytime, you let us know. And
yes, sir.
Beers are on us. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Look, hey, for y'all in the chat, appreciate y'all coming by and watching tonight.
Take it easy, guys.
And having a good time with us. You can always follow us Out of Your Effing Mind on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Email us atlfalconfancast@gmail.com. You can follow mostly Mike on TikTok, Out of Your Falcon Mind. We're up over 2,000 followers now, thanks to him, and pretty much nothing that I do. Follow Instagram as well.
I'll run Twitter though, solo dolo. So
yeah, I mean, I'll do Twitter, and he does.
We do different
everything
things.
else. So that's right. So
peanut butter and jelly, baby. You can't get no better than it.
Yeah, of course. So, all right, man. So we will catch y'all. Let's see. Today is Wednesday. I'm gonna try to drop that all 22 if all possible in the next few days. Worst case, I don't. I'll get to it next week because I have, thanks to JR,
vague language continues.
I can't.
We're wrapping up the show, and the vague language is still continuing. Goodness gracious.
I don't want to set the expectations too high. So after week 1, they'd be like, "Is he going to do it? Is he not going to?" It doesn't matter. We'll see. But hey, look, right now. There's 269 folks, man, between Twitter and YouTube. That's awesome. Appreciate y'all so much, man. So if you're on Twitter, hey, pop over to your YouTube if you have the app and hit the like, hit the subscribe. We appreciate that. Spotify, iTunes, drop us a 5-star review. Keep us growing. And if not, we'll catch y'all. Look, the game is Monday night. We're not going to go on here at midnight and do a show. So it'll probably be Tuesday night, probably around 8 o'clock, 8:15, somewhere around there. We'll do the recap show then. And I don't know what we're going to do with the preview show for the Chiefs game, but we'll figure that out next week. So thank y'all again. Catch y'all. Dave, you're the man. Appreciate it. And Mike, take us out, buddy.
Thank you, Dave. Out of your Falcon mind. Peace.